Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5 best budget graphics cards. Starting at number 5. GeForce RTX 3070. The GeForce RTX 3070 continues the Ampere onslaught and the march of next-gen architectures. It's a sizable step down from the 3080, and has less than half the VRAM of AMD's RX 6800 series cards. However, the 3070 also costs less than AMD's new cards and still has generally superior ray tracing performance, plus DLSS. It's too bad all of the 3070 cards will likely continue to sell out for quite some time. The new RTX 3070 Ti delivers slightly better performance for $100 more, but also bumps the power use up by 30%, so we recommend sticking with the non-Ti card for now. The 3060 Ti's $400 price point makes the 3070 less endearing. It's about 10 to 12% faster but costs 25% more, at least in theory. In practice, on eBay the 3070 averaged around $1,175 last month, about $175 more than the 3060 Ti. If you factor in the rest of your gaming PC, that extra $100 to $175 probably isn't too big of a problem. For new gaming PC builds, you shouldn't buy anything right now that costs $300 or more unless it's sporting an Ampere or Big Navi GPU. We do have some reservations, however. While 1440p and 4K gaming are totally possible, 4K at maximum quality often drops below 60 frames per second. DLSS can fix that, if a game supports it, but ray tracing even with DLSS often means 40 to 50 frames per second at 4K. We're also concerned with the 8GB of GDDR6. Not only is that less memory on a narrower bus than the 3080, but it's clocked quite a bit lower. Coming at number 4. GeForce RTX 3060 Ti. NVIDIA's Ampere march continues with what might just be the best of the bunch. The GeForce RTX 3060 Ti has all the same features as the other 30 series GPUs, with a starting price of just $399. In theory, of course, as it naturally sold out just as quickly as all the other new graphics cards. Currently, the typical eBay price sits at $1,000, 2.5x the nominal MSRP. Sigh. The 3060 Ti ends up beating the previous Gen 2080 Super in performance, winning every test we ran. It's also only about 9% slower than the 3070, but costs 20% less. If you're still sitting on a GTX series or similar GPU, like a GTX 1070 or RX Vega 56, the 3060 Ti is up to twice as fast, sometimes even more, in the latest games. The only real concern is the lack of VRAM. 8GB is enough, for now, but some games are starting to push beyond that threshold. Of course you can drop the texture quality a notch, and you might not even notice the difference, but deep down inside you'll feel regret. At number 3. GeForce RTX 3090. For some, the best card is the fastest card, pricing be damned. NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 3090 caters to this category of user. At more than double the price of the RTX 3080, performance is only moderately better in most workloads. It's basically a replacement for the Titan RTX, at a still extreme price. Which is fine if that's what you're after. The 12GB RTX 3080 Ti doesn't reduce the price enough to shake things up. The RTX 3090 is likely to reign as NVIDIA's top GPU for a while as well. It sports nearly a complete GA102 chip, based off the Ampere architecture, so there's not really room for a new Titan card. NVIDIA has said as much as well, that the 3090 brings Titan-class performance and features into the GeForce brand. If you simply must have the fastest graphics card available, that's the RTX 3090. Current online prices tend to be more than $2,000, however, And the average eBay price last month was nearly $3,000, so be prepared to pay dearly for the privilege. It's not just about gaming, of course. The RTX 3090 is the only GeForce Ampere with NVLink support, which is arguably more useful for professional apps and GPU compute than SLI. Number 2 of my list. Radeon RX 6800 XT. AMD's Radeon RX 6800 XT is the best card for Team Red. The RX Radeon 6900 XT is technically about 5 to 7% faster, but it costs 54% more. That's not a great deal at all, especially since you don't get more VRAM or any other extras. The RX 6800 XT provides a massive boost in performance and features relative to the previous generation RX 5700 XT. It adds ray tracing support and is 70 to 90% faster across our test suite. The GPU was affectionately dubbed Big Navi prior to launch by the enthusiast community, and we got exactly what we wanted. Navi 21 is over twice the size of Navi 10, with twice the shader cores and twice the RAM. Clock speeds are also boosted into the 2.1 to 2.3 GHz range, the highest clocks we've ever seen from a reference GPU by about 300 MHz. And AMD did all this without substantially increasing power requirements. The RX 6800 XT has a 300W TDP, slightly lower than the RTX 3080's 320W TDP. A big part of AMD's performance comes thanks to the massive 128 MB Infinity Cache. It improves the effective bandwidth by 119%. And number 1. GeForce RTX 3080. NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 3080 sports the new and improved Ampere architecture. It's over 30% faster than the previous Gen 2080 Ti, for $500 less. The new RTX 3080 Ti didn't manage to supplant the incumbent, thanks to its significantly higher pricing. If you're serious about maxing out all the graphics settings and you want to play at 4K or 1440p, this is the card to get. It's mostly overkill for 1080p gaming, though enabling all ray tracing effects in games that support the feature makes 1080p still reasonable. If you skipped the first round of RTX GPUs, the RTX 30 series might finally get you on board the ray tracing train. With potentially doubled the ray tracing performance of Turing, and games like Cyberpunk 2077 using even more ray tracing effects, the RTX 3080 is your best bet at playing games in all their ray-traced glory without nuking the piggy bank. Ampere also brings improved tensor cores for DLSS, a technology we're bound to see more of in future games now that it doesn't require per-game training by a supercomputer. We're seeing a lot more games with DLSS 2.0 these days, helped by the fact that it's basically a toggle and UI update to get it working in Unreal Engine and Unity. Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.